That definitely hits me every weekend. This idea that we always have to be productive, coming out of your weekend feeling like you didn't even get that much rest. You feel like you're not ready for the week.
That I've told and many secrets that I hold.
I was just about to say good morning, but it is 2:30 in the afternoon. Welcome to a weekend in my life. Just resting and recharging after a busy and emotionally charged week. I'm just looking to have a very fun and refreshing and relaxing weekend. This morning was so nice. I ended up sleeping in because I ended up going to a live show last night. So I just slept in, I had coffee with my boyfriend, and then we actually ended up going to the farmer's market with some of our friends. We picked them up and we went there for breakfast. If you guys have been watching my videos, you know I've been on a huge quiche frittata kick. So I got a quiche. We also got some breakfast sandwiches, some baked goods. We walked around, absorbed the vibes. It was so fun. And we actually ended up going back downtown, walking around, getting a coffee. So it's been a relaxing and active morning. I'm just back at my apartment now and I'm gonna clean up because I actually have some friends coming over for dinner tonight. So I gotta clean my apartment, prep some food for that. I'm making chicken and a yogurt sauce that I always make, that everyone always asks for the recipe for. So I think my other friend is gonna make roasted vegetables and potatoes, and the other one's bringing a salsa. I got some carrot loaf for dessert, but I think my other friend's bringing brownies. It's gonna be fun. I will do my best to get some clips of that as well. Probably put a TV show on in the background and do some deep cleaning. I love when my apartment is super clean. It just lifts your spirit. Okay, now for this yogurt sauce, I always get people asking me for the recipe every time I bring this somewhere. It's kind of my go-to thing to bring to any gathering. I'll give you guys kind of a run through of how I make it. So the first thing you're gonna do is strain some Greek yogurt, ideally overnight. I did this one for a few hours in a clean tea towel. Then I add salt, pepper, parsley, and dill. If I have fresh, I'll do that, but today I just had dried. I also add some garlic powder, a little bit of raw honey, and some feta. Sometimes I'll also add tahini and olive oil, just depending on how I'm feeling. I think I did add tahini to this, I just didn't film it. Yeah, I'll also add some lemon juice, and then I usually just blend it up. You could also do this up in like a food processor, and then of course always tasting as I go, and that's why there's no real recipe. It always turns out delicious. Like I said, this is really my go-to sauce to bring to any gathering. I love it with chicken, roasted potatoes, and veggies, but there's so many things you could put it on. Like I said, I made chicken. My friend made this absolutely delicious roasted veggies with balsamic glaze. My other friend bought homemade salsa. It was so good, and we just ended up hanging out all night. We also had brownies and carrot cake for dessert. It was so fun and really just nice to hang out and get that quality time with friends.
Too much caffeine. No. I'm falling to pieces in my room. Are you coming over? That's cool. I could use a little something to do. We could go outside, take a little ride if you want to. That's cool. I did what I was supposed to. There's nothing left for me to do. So now I'm walking out my head through open windows. Cause that's what I feel like. Do it tonight. Waking up my brain. Maybe you can do the same thing. You want me to say something? I come up with nothing. Maybe we can talk until we figure out a topic. Been so long in my head, caught
It is a few days later, but I wanted to take a little break and chat about how you can really get the most out of your weekends in terms of resting and recharging, and how to really enter your week feeling ready. This is something that I've struggled with for years, is really coming out of your weekend feeling like you didn't even get that much rest. You feel like you're not ready for the week. And I think that there's a lot of bigger issues at play. I mean, the work-life balance that we have nowadays is terrible. The whole way our society is set up, it's not the best for preventing burnout or feeling recharged when we enter the week. But I wanted to take a moment and just talk about ways that you can really help yourself to rest more deeply and intentionally on the weekends, just to help set yourself up for a better week. And I know a lot of us struggle with this idea that we always have to be productive, which we definitely don't. That definitely hits me every weekend. I'm always like, oh, I could use this weekend to do more things. I could get extra work done and things like that. And then you enter the week feeling more tired than when you finished. Okay, so my first tip is actually giving yourself permission to rest. And this sounds so silly, but we really do have to be intentional with this. I think society has drilled into us so much that we always need to be doing something, or we always need to be productive. And I know for me growing up, I was in a lot of extracurricular activities, and a lot of times I would get to the end of the week, like Friday, with a bunch of homework to do. And then I always saw the weekends as time to get extra stuff done. And I definitely carried that over into undergrad and grad school. I was always doing stuff on the weekends, always trying to be productive. And honestly, it just left me super burnt out. I really try to not do work on the weekends now. I really try and give myself that space. And that kind of leads me into point 2, which is setting boundaries, really allowing yourself to detach from those responsibilities that you have during the week. And sometimes that means not checking your email, not checking your work schedule, not checking your notifications, turning those off. All really important if you want to have a truly deep and restful weekend. My third tip is actually being intentional with planning your weekends. And I didn't start doing this until about a year ago, but it's made a total game changer. And of course, this ebbs and flows, and there's definitely times that I still overextend myself on the weekends, but I really try and take a look at what the weekends around me look like, and then what the week before my weekend looked like. So in terms of the weekends around, if I know that I have been going to a lot of social events, that I've been doing a lot of activities for the past few weekends, or I know that I will be going to a lot of holiday parties or a lot of social events in the next few weekends, I'm more likely to schedule a very relaxing, introverted weekend with a lot of time alone. Now, on the opposite side, if I've had a lot of weekends where I've just kind of been at home, been by myself, been relaxing, I'm more likely to schedule events with friends and get out more and try and do more social things. This is also great just for your social life. People really appreciate it when you make more plans in advance. So that is just what I found. I also take a look at the week before. So if Monday through Friday, I know that I am at social events, I'm seeing a lot of people at work, I'm doing a lot of face-to-face with different people, I'm more likely to schedule a lot more time alone that weekend, versus if I've just been doing computer work all week and haven't seen another human, I'm very likely to try and make social plans. And really, it's a balance. It also depends on you. If you're more of an introvert and you find you really need more time alone to recharge, then you're going to prioritize that more in your weekends. Versus if you're more of an extrovert, then you can plan more of those social events. The next tip is planning both rest and recharging activities. So these are going to look different for each person. For me, I know activities that recharge me are things like baking, cooking, going to the farmer's market. Going to the farmer's market just fills my social battery like nothing else. I absolutely love it. Versus rest, maybe taking a bath, reading, just actually allowing my body to rest, making sure that you're having both those rest and recharging activities. And then the last thing that I always try and do is take time to reflect on the past week and then plan for the week ahead. When you reflect on the past week, it allows you to see more patterns. If you're constantly overextending yourself, whether that be in social settings or overexerting yourself in work, you're going to be able to see that, and then you can correct that pattern. And then planning for the week ahead, we all know that planning sets you up for success. So I always like to take at least a few minutes of my weekend and just plan out the the week, get a sense of what my tasks are for the week. I hope those tips were helpful. I hope they made sense. Let me know in the comments below what you do on the weekends to really set yourself up for a good week and to feel refreshed and recharged. And yeah, I guess we'll get back to the video. Another thing I really love is having a really consistent Sunday late afternoon evening routine. So we will always do the same thing. We'll walk to the fish market and pick up salmon for dinner. Today we were lucky enough that they actually gave us free samples of sushi. So we got a little pre-dinner snack with that. And then we always make the same thing for dinner every Sunday night. We'll do roasted sweet potatoes, broccoli, and salmon. I just chopped up my sweet potatoes. I always cook them in avocado oil. I usually do cinnamon and maple syrup, but I realized I was out of cinnamon, so I just did garlic powder instead. And then I realized that this bowl was way too small for the amount of potatoes, but we made it work. I just roast those up in the oven, and then we always do roasted broccoli as well. I love using frozen broccoli. It's so easy, and I just seasoned that with avocado oil, garlic powder, and salt and pepper. And then lately I've been mixing tahini and sauerkraut to make this little side dish. It is so delicious, and the fat in the tahini really cuts through the acid in the sauerkraut. And then for our salmon, I always season it with mustard and maple syrup. I'll cook it in the cast iron. This is such a great dinner. It is absolutely delicious, and we always have lots of leftovers of the sweet potato and broccoli. We don't normally have any leftovers of the salmon, but that's okay. Normally after this, my boyfriend will go home. Sometimes I'll read for a little bit. This night I did a little bit of a bedtime yoga flow. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you got some ideas or maybe had some reflections on how you can really optimize your weekends and get that deep rest that so many of us need. If you guys did enjoy the video, please let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Hi guys.